Let me tell you about a version of me from not that long ago. Woke up every day, did the routine, went through the hardships. Nothing was wrong, nothing was catastrophically bad. I had food, I had a phone, I had a plan, or at least something that felt like one. And that was completely, quietly, invisibly going nowhere. The terrifying part wasn't that life was hard, the terrifying part was that life was fine. Fine enough that I could keep telling myself things were okay. Fine enough that there was no obvious reason to change anything. Fine enough that the version of me I actually wanted to become kept getting pushed to later, soon, eventually. Sound familiar? Here's what I figured out, and I wish someone had said this to me clearly at 15, 16, 17. Comfort is not the reward. Comfort is the trap. And the reason most people never build the life they actually want, not because they're lazy, not because they're unlucky, not because they weren't born into the right circumstances, is because nothing bad enough ever happened to make them move. That's what this video is about. Here's something nobody teaches in school. Your brain's primary job is not to make you successful. It's not to make you wealthy or ambitious or fulfilled. Its one job, the job it has been doing for 200,000 years, is to keep you alive. And to your brain, this comfort feels like danger. Every time you consider taking a financial risk, investing money that makes you nervous, starting something with no guaranteed outcome, leaving a job that pays okay for something that could pay more, your brain fires the same alarm as if your life is being threatened. Stress hormones, anxiety, the pullback to what feels familiar and safe. This isn't weakness, this is biology. But here's the problem. The same system that kept your ancestors alive on the savannah is now keeping you stuck in a salary you've outgrown. The same alarm that stopped them from walking into a predator's territory is stopping you from sending the email, making the investment, starting the thing. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a lion and a business risk. It just knows this is unfamiliar, and unfamiliar means danger, and danger means stop. So the first thing to understand about comfort is this. You're not weak for choosing it. You're human. But understanding why your brain defaults to comfort is the first step to overriding it. Here's the one that genuinely shocked me when I first understood it. Research shows that most people unconsciously limit their earning and their wealth to match what felt normal growing up. Not consciously, not deliberately, but the financial environment you grew up in set a thermostat inside you, a number that felt normal, felt safe, felt like enough, and your brain has been enforcing that ceiling ever since. You've heard about lottery winners who end up broke within a few years. That's not stupidity, that's the thermostat. They suddenly had more than their internal normal, more than their brain had ever categorized as safe and familiar, and unconsciously found ways to return to what felt right. The same thing happens in the opposite direction. People who grow up around wealth don't flinch at investing, don't panic at risk, don't feel guilty for charging what they're worth, because their thermostat is set differently. And here's what that means for most of us. The ceiling on your financial life might not be coming from the economy or the job market or bad luck. It might be coming from a number your brain decided was normal when you were 10 years old watching how the adults around you handled money. That number is not a fact, it's a setting, and settings can be changed. I want to be careful here because this isn't about blaming anyone. Your parents gave you the best map they had. Get good grades, get a stable job, save money, don't take unnecessary risks. That blueprint wasn't wrong. For the world they grew up in, the 1970s, 80s, early 90s, it mostly worked. Inflation was manageable, pensions existed, companies rewarded loyalty with security. But that world doesn't exist anymore. In 2026, the stable job produces comfort but rarely produces wealth. The steady salary keeps you okay, but okay isn't what it used to buy. Loyalty is no longer rewarded with security. It's rewarded with the privilege of keeping your job until the next round of layoffs. Your parents weren't wrong for their time. The problem is they handed you a map for a world that no longer exists. And if you're navigating 2026 with a 1985 map, you're going to end up somewhere you never intended to be. The safe path isn't dangerous because it fails dramatically. It's dangerous because it succeeds just enough to keep you on it. Here's the difference between failure and comfort that nobody talks about. Failure is loud. It hurts. It's obvious. When something fails, you notice it. You learn from it. You adjust. Failure forces growth because it makes staying the same impossible. Comfort is silent. You don't notice it destroying your potential because nothing bad is happening. You're fine. You're okay. You're comfortable. And that's exactly the trap. Research shows that 40 to 50% of your daily actions aren't decisions at all. They're habits running on autopilot. When you're comfortable, those automatic behaviors lock in at a level that maintains exactly where you are. Not worse, not better, just maintained. Comfortable people automate mediocrity without ever realizing it, because nothing ever gets bad enough to interrupt the pattern. Think about the people you know who are 10 years older than you and still in the same position they were in at your age. Not because they aren't smart, not because they didn't have potential, because nothing ever got uncomfortable enough to make them move. Okay is the enemy of wealthy, and okay is comfortable. I want to be clear about something before I tell you what actually works. The answer is not to grind 18 hours a day, not to become a different person overnight, not to blow up your entire life in the name of growth. Because research actually shows that dramatic forced change triggers the exact resistance response we talked about in the beginning. Your brain doubles down, the alarm gets louder, and most people end up right back where they started. The answer is deliberate discomfort. Small, specific, intentional. Invest an amount that makes you slightly nervous. Not ruinous, just uncomfortable. Start the thing you've been thinking about for 6 months. Not perfectly, just start. Have the financial conversation you've been avoiding. Not all at once, just begin it. Gradual expansion builds new neural pathways permanently. Your brain literally rewires itself when you consistently do the thing that scares you slightly. And over time, the threshold moves. What felt uncomfortable at 18 feels normal at 19. What felt impossible at 19 feels achievable at 20. That's how the thermostat gets reset. Not by blowing it up, by gradually turning it up 1 degree at a time. Here's where I am with this personally. Every time I feel the pull toward the comfortable choice, the safe option, the known outcome, the path with no downside, I've started asking myself one question. Is this what I actually want, or is this just what my brain decided was safe before I was old enough to disagree? Usually the answer tells me exactly what to do next. Comfort isn't the enemy of a good life. Comfort that masquerades as enough, that's what ruins lives. Slowly, silently, without ever giving you a clear moment to fight back against it. Failure is loud. Comfort is silent. And silence is winning. That's what Undepth is here for.